So a federal judge temporarily blocking President Trump's executive order to fast-track the deportations of alleged Venezuelan gang members out of the U.S.
Matt Finn is in West Palm Beach, and he joins us now with the latest. Matt, this seems unbelievable. Break it down for us. Explain to us why we want Tren de Aragua back in the United States.
Yeah, so this judge ordered planes full of suspected terrorists to turn around to the United States. President Trump's proclamation of this seldom used Alien Enemies Act of 1796 says all Venezuelan citizens 14 years or older who are suspected Tren de Aragua gang members cannot become citizens of the United States. But yesterday, the ACLU filed a lawsuit claiming the Alien Enemies Act could be used to deport any Venezuelan in the U.S., regardless of whether they are affiliated with TDA. So a chief U.S. District Judge, James Boasberg of the D.C. Circuit, agreed with the ACLU and went against President Trump, granting a temporary restraining order preventing the deportation of 5 Venezuelans yesterday who were already in U.S. custody. It is unclear right now if the 2 planes that were ordered returned by the judge have done so. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi responding, writing, tonight a D.C. trial judge supported Tren de Aragua terrorists over the safety of Americans. This order disregards well-established authority regarding President Trump's power, and it puts the public and law enforcement at risk. The Department of Justice is undeterred in its efforts to work with the White House and Department of Homeland Security and all of our partners to stop this invasion and make America safe again. Now, as the number of illegal migrant crossings and illegal gotaways continues to drastically plunge under the Trump administration, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem posted this video online showing gates at a border wall closing behind her.
This is an announcement to the entire world. America's borders are closed if you want to come here illegally. We only want people in our country who love America and want to follow our laws.
And on the topic of TDA, I investigated an individual migrant in Chicago over the past couple of weeks. The story is up on foxnews.com right now. He was ordered deported under the Biden administration in 2022, found his way to Chicago, and guys, was arrested in the city of Chicago 4 times. Back to you.
Wow. Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Sure.
Truly amazing. The idea that that you would have a rogue judge in D.C. undermining the entire authority of the judicial branch by getting into a fight like this with the President of the United States, who absolutely has executive authority to do what he's doing, is, I think, you could see long-term damage done to undermining the judicial branch's authority. It's absolutely amazing.
Imagine being a donor to the ACLU. Is this really what you want your money to go towards, to making sure that Tren de Aragua gang members? Now, listen, if he's saying, well, the judge is saying maybe this law can be used to deport any Venezuelan who's here illegally and we want them to go through some other process, that's fine. But it's very clear that the people who were on that plane were Tren de Aragua gang members. And he basically said, bring him back. Right. Bring him back to the States. That's crazy.
If I understand Matt's report, is 5?
Yeah.
5 people? You think they haven't properly vetted those 5 people to know they were already in custody? And the other thing, too, is if they bring them back, they're still in custody. It's not like they're going to set them free. And it's just, you're delaying the inevitable and costing us more money doing it to prove some point. I'm not sure. You know, we talk about judicial activism and lawfare. Shouldn't the judge, I mean, the Supreme Court generally, no matter if it's conservative or liberal, usually takes the stance of we don't want to pick it up until we absolutely have to. Right. We don't want to make this decision on behalf of the American people and the Congress and the president they've elected unless we absolutely have to. But I guess these lower court judges, I guess for them it's a way to make their name, maybe to create a legacy or get in the news. I'm not sure what their motivations are.
But there's a lot of elitism involved in this. You guys remember very clearly when J.D. Vance was interviewed by, I think it was Martha Raddatz, if I'm correct. And they were talking about Tren de Aragua taking over apartment buildings and complexes in Colorado. And she said, listen, it's just a few apartment buildings. You know, if I said, they took over Bethesda.
Like, do you hear yourself? He said something like, his response like, did you hear what you just said?
Can you hear yourself, Martha? Exactly. They took over her little rich enclave in D.C. She wouldn't feel that way about it. But since it's these working class apartments that you're seeing right here, They don't care. Same for the ACLU, Charlie.
Yeah, and I think it's such an important point. It's why the Supreme Court has to step in and rein in rogue judges that do things like this, and they should do that. And as for the ACLU, it's amazing. And by the way, the entire judicial system, when you see things like this, you're like, wait, you're so concerned about the rights of illegals who are in our country illegally. It seems like you care more about them than you do actual citizens who are like tax-paying legal citizens living in the country, even immigrants.
Maybe the goal is to make them citizens and get their votes. I'm not sure what their goal is. Listen, you talked about if it were her little enclave in D.C. Georgetown even kicked me out of there for having a truck. Like they don't even let the metro there. Like you can't be poor and in Georgetown. Maybe if I were driving a Tesla, maybe they would have let me hang out for a while back then.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.